This is Sally, my 1990 V8 Swapped Miata. Today we're going to be taking this thing out and putting it to the test and seeing how fast it really is. We're going to be doing some 0 to 60 pulls with this thing and seeing how it compares to both my Turbo Miata and the Honda K24 Miata, both which we built here on this channel. Before we go and do those 0 to 60 pulls though, let me show you around this car so you know what this thing's all about, and then we'll take you for a ride. Sally here is a little bit different than a stock 1.6 liter 1990 Miata. This here has a built Ford 302 in it, which means that this has over 3 times the displacement of the stock 1.6 that these Miatas came with. When this engine was built, it was built from the ground up by a previous owner, and it dynoed at 385 horsepower. This thing is basically a raw, old school muscle car engine that's carbureted and has all sorts of goodies on it. I don't think this thing's making that 385 horsepower right now, but I'll get into that later in this video. Behind that engine, there's a world-class T5 transmission and a Ford 7.5 limited slip rear end. So this thing is pretty much a Mustang in Miata's clothing, and it should be pretty quick. Let's hop in, I'll take you for a ride, and we'll go over to our testing grounds over in Mexico and see what this thing could do. Alright guys, so here we are taking Sally up to the proving grounds in Mexico. She definitely drives a little different than a normal Miata. As you could hear, sounds straight up like an old muscle car, which is pretty sweet, but the clutch is actually pretty light. The clutch is lighter than my Turbo Miata, which is always funny and interesting to me since this makes about twice the power of the Turbo Miata. This thing right now, it's a Miata where I'm at 1500 RPM, and we still have torque to cruise up hills and things like this. So it's a very different beast than the 1.6 liter Turbo Miata I have, and it's also a very different beast than the K-Swap Miata that we built. We're not fully up to temperature here yet, but I'll give it just a little bit of a pull so you could feel a little bit of what this car is like. So it moves pretty good. It's not an absolute rocket ship, and as I said, I don't think this thing is running absolutely perfect. There's a little bit of a dead spot when I get on the throttle. It feels like it's misfiring or something, so I'm going to be going through and giving this a full tune-up and then doing more videos with this car, doing more testing. But for now, I want to get a baseline, so we're going to take it out, do some pulls, and see how this thing really performs. Alright, so we'll go ahead, do another little pull here, and just give you an idea of how this thing performs and drives. So one thing I want to talk about is tires. This thing's on some fairly all-season tires. They're a performance all-season, but they're not like a 200 tread-wear super high-performance tire, and that's definitely going to limit us a little bit. On that little pull right there, I matted it in first, and it does just spin the rear tires. This thing's got a lot of torque, and it's really different than the Turbo Miata and even the K24 Miata. Alright, so we're going to go ahead here, do a first 0 to 60 pull. I honestly can't remember how fast this thing goes in second gear, so we're going to see if we could hit 60 in second or if we need to go up to third. I got the draggy all armed and ready, so let's go ahead and do it. Hold on, Paige. Okay. Ready? Yeah. So I actually got out of it there in second. I could have revved it out a little bit more. 0 to 60 there was 5.80 seconds. That is the fastest Miata time that I've ever recorded on this channel so far. It wasn't a very clean run. I lit up the tires on the launch, and we're gonna do that a few more times, and it wouldn't surprise me if we're high 4s or low 5s for final 0 to 60 time after we're all set here. Alright, so we're all set up here with the draggy GPS timer. We know we could hit 60 in second gear, and this run's going to be without a passenger, so we should be able to go a little bit faster. I'm going to go line up and see how we do. Alright, reset the draggy, and we're off. All right, guys, so 0 to 60 on that one was 5.27 seconds. That is over a full half second faster than that first run, and I know there's a little bit more in it. I'm gonna go line up one more time and see if we could beat that, and then we'll go back home and debrief how this thing did. That was good. I'm gonna do one more. All right, here we go for all the marbles one more time. All right, I don't know if that one was faster. I don't know if I short shifted into third and didn't hit 60, but we'll go ahead and find out here. I'm gonna wait for this van to swing by and then swing this thing around and head back down the road. Let's see what we did for a time. 0 to 60, 4.92 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, we finally have a Miata on this channel doing 0 to 60 in the 4s. Let's go. Yes, that is awesome. I'm so excited about that. All right, so I am freaking pumped. That 0 to 60 was under 5 seconds. That is the fastest Miata 0 to 60 so far, and this thing is sweet. It's not dialed in yet, it's not on good tires, and it's going pretty good. So let's go home, debrief this video, and then compare this to the Turbo Miata and the K Miata. All right, so it's now the next day. I actually just got new wheels and tires for Sally that will help with the performance, but you can't see them in this video. You're gonna have to stick around for the next video. So this car actually did very well 0 to 60. 4.92 was its best time, which absolutely smoked the Turbo Miata and the K Miata, and it blew a stock Miata, which was 8.9, out of the water. Now, with that said, you probably noticed that Sally is burning some oil and is stuttering just a little bit, so it needs to be tuned up, and this thing will get even faster as I do that. Stick around for the next episodes on this car where I'm gonna be tuning it up, dialing it in, and doing some more testing, and then I'm also gonna be doing a full interior build on this car. Subscribe so you don't miss that. If you enjoyed this video, I got Enjoy Cashed Out Cars shirts down in the description below. If you pre-order them, they're gonna be a little bit cheaper than when I do the actual production run on these shirts, but check them out, I really appreciate it. Like this video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe for more, and I hope you stick around for the next one. Take care.